All right, all right, all right. It's the universe. Today, we grout. First step is to clean up this mess. I've already kicked off the little wedges and a couple of them broke off not so clean. So I gotta go back with a knife and go and get them off because they're sticking up a little bit proud of the grout joint or the tile. So you'll have a little clear plastic thing sticking up. Probably won't see it unless you're crawling around on the bathroom floor. The unmodified thin set doesn't stick very good to the surface of the tile. It literally just wipes right off. A couple swipes of the sponge here, or even a rag will get it right off. Clean it all off, vacuum out all the grout joints, and mix up some grout and put it all in. So right there I had a little bit of grout coming out, or a little bit of thin set coming out of the grout joint. It's gone. This always down close personal. I'm in these. Make sure it looks good. Well, here neatly. Is it cabinet? I'm good. Mess around with it. This one here. There we go. You're wondering, where can you get this awesome t-shirt and this super cool Top Secret Society hat? There will be a link in the description. So go check it out if you're into that secret society stuff. Join.
What's the camera in the house? What's it mean? Does it look like me? What do I do, Brett? That's like, get a contest. Who goes? Oh, you see the website out there. They're like, this isn't here. Anyone else? What's that mean? Can you tell, Brett? It's like,
Lots of people interested in my whiskers. I suggest you get... So you'll need lots of buckets. Lowe's is actually sold out. They've been sold out of buckets for 3 weeks. And I have no idea. I have no idea why. Corona, Wuhan flu. Home Depot's got plenty. So this bucket here has a sponge in it with water up to about here. This bucket here is going to get water in it. And then I'm going to use a third bucket. Third bucket is for the grout. The grout we're using is called Prism. The color is linen. Comes in bags just like this. So you're going to empty this entire bag into this bucket and then put the water in. You can do it vice versa also if you want to. This Prism is a little bit more expensive than your standard off-the-shelf grout at Home Depot. It's supposed to be stain resistant. It's already sealed. There's nothing to add to it. If you ask them what to add to it, they'll tell you, no, it's already in there. It's already in there. So my first time using Prism. So we'll have to see how good it is, how easy it is to work with. See if I get the coupon code. I'm not getting the coupon code. See if I can save some money. But it's a single bit. I might. Now, you're going to see. You're going to it's like a die, man. Get a die. Just on the job. Just on the job. Just on the job. That sounds good. All right. We're going to go back to the water. Doesn't take much water, a lot less water for the grout than the thin set, or it seems that way. So don't go overboard on the water or else it'll be too thin. Getting all buttoned up, I want to protect my Secret Society shirt. I don't want to get anything on it. Somebody asked me, Handyman, when you get thin set grout paint on your coveralls, what happens when you go to your next job? How do you prevent that from getting on the interior of your truck? Just want to reach through the screen and slap the... So I'm going to start at this corner, work my way out. I'm only going in sections, say, yay big, like here. It depends on how fast it dries and hazes up. Because you want to start wiping that haze off with what's in that bucket, a wet sponge and just water. Down here in the basement, it's a little bit more humid. So I might be able to work in a little bit larger sections before I go back and start wiping things down. Floor tile is real easy. Just dump this stuff out and start going back and forth. You want your float. You know, I use a cheap float at 45-degree angles to the grout joints. So I won't be doing much of this, but it's this. And you'll see me doing swirly patterns like this. You want to hit it from all directions because you want this to pack all the way down and fill that grout joint all the way up. Don't have the knee pads on. Knee pads have debris in them. And when you're kneeling around, you can stuff that debris in there. So we're just doing it old school. Mother Nature's knee pads. Cartilage. Most likely, I'll mix up another batch of grout. You know this, I'll just take care of here. And take a chance at it. So I'll get everything once in the mirror here, let me know. Look. So I'm just going back and doing my first pass, making some notes of a few spots that are light. What I mean light is the grout joint isn't 100% filled up. And you can just grab some globs and put that on there. I always keep a little bit extra in the bucket to go back over, make sure they're all filled up. 45 degrees to everything, flip it over. Sometimes you gotta go at a different angle. And then rinse and repeat. And then try not to step on a grout joint. If you do mess one up, you can still go back and give it a little tune up with some of your grout you have in your bucket. I need this one. So now by this time, my water is pretty darn dirty. But again, this is still my first pass just to get the heavy stuff off. I'm gonna have to dump the bucket, get fresh water. Once it hazes over again, I'll probably do it again. Then it gets to the point where you don't mess with it anymore, and you come back and you buff the tiles. So everything's dry, but there's still that dust that's stuck to it. Some tiles, and with some grout, it's really stuck there, and you got to use like a chemical to get it off. But I've had good luck with 2 passes and then a buff. So this is the second wipe down pass. One thing I did skip recording is I went through and looked for some low areas or anything that needed to be touched up and did that. And now this is the last pass with the sponge. Now when you're going through these grout joints, like right here, I filled this in. This spot was a little low. And to blend it, after it's set up a little bit, just take your finger. And there you go, you just completely blended that all in. The grout's pretty set up. Pretty firm in there, so you're not gonna have to worry about wiping it out on your second pass if you wait long enough. But it's still, you can still maneuver a little bit, I guess, for lack of a better term. You can still work it a little bit with your finger, if you need to. Why are the cabinets in here? Well, I was trying to stay busy while I was waiting for this to dry out, so I started cleaning that room out, getting it ready to put down Deetra out here. So I'll be moving the vanity in, the countertop in, toilet. Of course, I don't have a wax ring, so I won't set the toilet today, but I'll get the toilet reset. Probably will wait to do the toilet until the baseboard's done. I've made that mistake before. Trying to get baseboard behind a toilet that you've mounted, just because you want to see that progress of the toilet back in. You're like, how the hell am I going to get this freaking baseboard in behind this toilet? Wait till the baseboard's in. Where you're okay, that's good thing. It's easier to remove it, come back and fill up. I'm just gonna let it take over and just let it, like I said, still wet out too, just manipulate, but not just wipe it out with a sponge. I'm going over it again. Alright, there we go. Now the next phase of the tile part here, we buff the tile. There's still a haze, so it's clean. Right there, even down here, there's still some grout on the actual tiles. And it'll be buffed off. Now, I'll really put it on this. And it'll dry really quick. You can probably hear me grunting from down the hall. Get this secured in here tomorrow. Just getting this stuff out of there, like I said earlier, and into here. So I gotta still rip out carpet. More carpet's gotta come out. So the customer just brought me a cocktail. It didn't last long. I'm down to my last sip. I think I'm done for today. I really need to bring the tool trailer back to get the countertop fastened. I gotta clean all this drywall off this end piece here. So that I can re-glue it back up to the wall. I'll have to do a repair to, give an area for this to bind to with the glue. I'm gonna get the plumbing all hooked up with this. There still really isn't a plan for the baseboards. So I suggested that you do a tile baseboard or an accent, like a piece of marble or something. Because tile, you need to mop. And when you're slinging your mop around, you're pushing moisture up against those baseboards. If those baseboards are made of wood, it's gonna soak up the water or whatever you're mopping the floor with and eventually deteriorate and look unsightly. So the baseboard probably will be on a little bit of a standstill for a bit until I get this room finished. I still have walls and doorways to also build in here. That'll be interesting. I do encourage you to stick around to see how this all plays out. I won't be dragging it out quite as long as I did this one. So this section here is going to be all of it in one video. The Deetra, the tile, the cuts, the grout. It's all going to be one video. It's going to go fast. It'll be entertaining. If I come up with something unusual, I'll stop the speed, slow it down a little bit, and share it with you. Yeah, so don't worry, I'm not going to drag out that section into 3 videos.